Welcome back everyone to what is the final Commentators Corner of the season, and it's been a pretty exciting season. 4-time champion now is Blizzard as we move on to season number 13 to sort of reflect maybe more on the season rather than the race tonight. First person in the box is Steph. Steph, how are you tonight?
Hello Kieran, good evening ladies and gents, boys and girls. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm happy with late place. Take some points out of that. Not exactly where I'll guarantee where to finish, but I'll take points.
I mean, what would you rather talk about, that race or entirety of season number 12? It's up to you. I think I know which one you'd prefer.
I don't mind either way. You just throw away the questions, mate, and I'll answer it for you.
Well, absolutely. Well, talk us through your race to begin with. How did that one go for you?
Yeah, not too bad. Start from 8th, and then got off to a reasonable good start, and then obviously made a little mistake just before the hairpin. I was just like, oh no, damn, Ollie and May's just gone through. I was thinking, right, I need to get back through them quickly because I know Sean gone off just after the first sector point. I was thinking, right, if I quickly get Maze on the end of the stretch before a safety car comes out, that'll be happy days. And it literally, I was side by side with Maze. I do not know how I was in front of him, but the game says I was in front of him, and obviously guaranteed the place. I'm just like, okay, happy days. After the safety car restart, got myself going. I was like, okay, yep, nice and reasonable. Obviously managing the tyres on the first stint just to try and eke it through a little bit as long as possible. Then obviously when it comes to the pits, did a little comical stint. Luckily, hope you did not catch it on the stream what happened to me, but unfortunately it reverted to me onto a two-stop. Unfortunately, due to the game decided to put me on the wrong tyres rather than I selected. So obviously the strategy completely threw out the window. But with everyone dropping out in front of me, left, right, front, centre, just happy to take it home in next place, and obviously beating one of my main rivals.
Yeah, and obviously you're doing a couple of donuts across the line there, but picking up 8th place. I
Got to
think
be done.
I think everyone did a donut across that line. There weren't
It's
many who
got to be
didn't.
done, Kieran. It's got to be done. It's the last race of the season, you know.
Yeah, all right, I suppose. What about in your entire season then? How would you rate yourself? Did you have a good season, bad season? Talk us through it.
I say make sure like both. You know, at the start of the season, especially like in Australia, obviously with the massive pile up, I'd say to obviously yeah, well, half the field like dropped out, and obviously yeah, take home with 5th place and get 10 points straight on the board. I was just like, okay, happy days. First half of the season, yeah, I'd say it's reasonable, and obviously second half is just mixtures of good and bad luck at certain points. Some down to my own errors and some not. So either way, I'm just happy with the points I got, and obviously beating the rivals around me.
And going into season 13, then obviously all the teams are keeping their cards very close to their chest. If there's a team you'd love to drive for, who would it be?
I don't mind. End of the day, as long as like get a seat and stuff, and as long as you drive, that's the main thing.
Oh, great stuff. And maybe it's a bit too early to say, but where would you target yourself for season 13?
Well, I'll see how it goes after the first few races, and I can start calculating myself where positions to go for. Obviously, the first time you start calculating yourself in terms of anywhere in the table is after roughly the first 5 races, so we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to us, Steph. Great to have you, and we will see you next season.
Indeed, you also forgot my little day of the week, didn't you, Kieran?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Thursday, isn't it? All right, then. Take it away, Mr.
Yeah, well done,
Steph.
well done, well done. Thank you, Kieran. Right, so then, obviously with the TTFL league actually finished, however, we still got one little trick left in store for another trophy. That's right, that is the Challenge Cup for tomorrow night. Now, so I've been told the location is in Austria, and it's 100% race. So it's literally all against all, no matter if it's your teammate, no matter what. It's literally all for the one spot, for the main spot at the top. And I believe I've been joined by a special guest commentator for tomorrow night as well. Our very own Jack will be joining me in the box.
Great stuff. And yes, please do tune into Steph. Those 100% races are well worth tuning in for. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night then, Steph.
I hope you will do. I hope everyone else as well. I hope you can join me then. 8 o'clock, don't miss it. Be there with me and Jack tomorrow night, along with the drivers there, willing to see how far they can push themselves within the endurance of 100% race.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Steph. We will see you tomorrow night.
Thank you very much, Kieran. Good job as always all year season 3, mate.
Next in the commentary box then is someone I haven't spoken to in a long time. It's Z3. Z3, how are you tonight?
Pretty good right now. A little tired. Pretty much went straight from work to this. So yeah.
Well, 2 races back to back in TTL F1. Let's talk about your race first. You finished P4. Just talk us through your race.
Well, started third, I think. Wasn't actually satisfied with my lap in quali, but still starting third was good. So I went down to fourth in the second corner or something. I can't remember exactly. Then we obviously got the safety car, which I was really unsure what to do then because it was so early, but I stayed out. On the restart, I kind of lost a little to the top 3 runners straight away because I didn't get my rear tires to temp, so kind of struggled with the rear grip. But then I managed to get my pace a little together again, and I saw that there was a big gap behind me with Ollie, I think, defending from Blizzard and Lambo and the other guys. So like I knew I had clean air and I knew I had to make the best out of it, so I tried to just keep pushing. On lap 11 I'd been passed by those guys. My tires were just dead, so I had to pit. So I tried to do a few quick laps on the supers after I pitted. But obviously first I had to pass Graham and Mace, which kind of turned out to be easier than I thought it would. No offense to them, but yeah, it didn't feel difficult. Then I ended up a little ahead of Spike. I saw he was on the supers, so I knew it was going to be hard to defend at all, but I tried, and I think I managed to defend for one corner, and then I had to let him go in the end. And it was pretty much the same with well, Blizzard, I didn't get the battle again, but I think Lambo, I tried, but the tires and just the fact that I'm not as quick as them, I was just not able to defend from them. But in the end, finishing P4 was a good result for me. It would have been P5 if Spike didn't do his donuts, obviously, which scared the living hell out of me because I barely managed to escape him and Steph right before the finish line there.
And obviously 2 races in TTL F1 back to back. Are you confident you've made the cut for promotion?
I don't know. Right now it will be every other week. I will get straight from work straight to the race. So not actually sure if I want to do a full season again yet. Because of that, it makes it difficult on the weeks I'm working late, and I'm still having big problems with most of the races in the second part of the season. So I've pretty much thrown away the TTL F2 title by a lot of bottles in the second part. So I don't know, still an issue.
And then let's say you are in season 13, which car would you love to drive?
Oh, I would love to jump back to my Toro Rosso seat, to be honest. Kind of miss driving in that car now. I was supposed to pick that car for this race, but forgot to pick car, so ended in the Ferrari.
Great stuff. Well, it's been great talking to you again, Z3. Hopefully we can see you more further down the season.
Well, I'm definitely staying as a reserve, so hopefully trying to make a few more races next season at least. But yeah, I'm not sure. Still trying to figure out my issues with the second part of the season, and I'm quicker around those tracks, but I still have an issue with finishing those races.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for talking to us, Z3, and hopefully we will see you next week then.
Probably.
Well, let's hope. Let's be optimistic about it.
You can hope. Obviously. But yeah, I think I will be there next week.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Well, thank you again, Z3, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Definitely.
Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got 2 more drivers. We have Spike up next. Spike, feeling under the weather on Tuesday. You looked a lot better tonight. Just talk us through your race.
Hello, mate. I'll try and complete some sentences without coughing. Tell us about the race. It was alright. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's as quick as I could go. Or should I say, the tyres could go for me. And yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I mean, the start was probably the best bit of the whole race, to be fair. On the hardest tyre, and managed to out-drag Adams to turn 1, and which I was surprised at. I was thinking, well, let's try and hold P2 into turn 1. And then I was P1, and then I tried to give him space on the exit, but he did get a bit close, so I think he just decided to avoid contact, which is fair enough. And then I backed a little bit through the next corner to let him get back on the track. I wasn't expecting him to let me back through, and I think that's what he was trying to do. I think I nearly dropped the car. I think I got on the dirty bits and nearly dropped it. And I saw him slow down. Then Sean came past me, and Sean must have just not seen what was going on. So obviously then there was a crash between the two of them, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and you're battling away. You're battling away on the hardest tyre.
Yeah.
Obviously, super soft to ultra soft. Did that strategy work for you? Did you think?
I couldn't have done any other strategy, to be fair. I don't think. I'm pretty sure the ultras would have just melted if I'd done those at the start. They just literally were on the cusp. I changed back to just a more aggressive setup, just to have a bit better pace and then try and manage the tyres. Because I changed it for race before at Abu Dhabi and I was just slow. So I just think I went a bit too aggressive with the weight distribution. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, too aggressive with the weight distribution, which meant it was too flighty through turns 2 and 3. And it was fine for the first few laps, but as soon as the tyre wear started to kick in, it was pretty dodgy going through there, and I was losing a lot of time to the guys who were quicker than me. Especially there, I was losing nearly three quarters of a second, I think, through there. So.
And just talk us through your season, Spike. How would you rate yourself over season 12?
I don't know. Rate myself. I'm just limited on what I can do with. I mean, some tracks it's hardly noticeable, and I can sort of keep a pace with the guys in front. But I mean, Abu Dhabi's not very good at Abu Dhabi anyway, so I wasn't expecting a huge amount tonight anyway. Over the season, it's been okay. A few mistakes here and there, but reasonably happy.
And of course, TTL switches up the way it chooses drivers and how teams work next season. So if there is a team you could drive for next season, who would it be?
A team that doesn't have to use core temperature for the tyres, just surface only. That would work nicely for me.
You might find that team hard to come by.
Yes, yeah, it would be better for me.
And well, it might be very early in the season. In fact, the season has even started. But where would be a good position after 21 races for you?
I don't know. No idea, mate. I mean, on the tracks that I can keep it steady and keep it within the temperatures, then top half, top 5 nearly all the time. But on the tracks, especially like Singapore, Monaco, I'm just not going to be fighting at the front. I'll just be doing my best.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for talking to us, Spike. Even with the way you are, very brave of you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I have to keep unplugging the mic to cough.
Don't worry about it. We'll let you go now and rest yourself for a new season, eh?
Yeah, cheers. Congratulations, Blizzard, mate. Great drive all season, mate.
And the last driver in Commentators Corner is our newly crowned 4-time Drivers' World Champion of TTL F1. It's Blizzard. Blizzard, another win for you tonight. Did that go according to plan?
I mean, qualifying didn't really mean Lambo and Squeezy were all having a bit of fun until Squeezy hit Lambo. Both sides started back, and yeah, really, it was about trying to maintain the supers at the first stint against Odom's, and I did that well, and Odom's already had front wing damage anyway, so just drove away from him when they got ahead.
You see, I was wondering why you were building such a big gap over Odem's.
It's only light green though.
It's still front wing damage.
Yeah.
Obviously, talk us through your season then. I mean, you've won the championship for a 4th time. Were there any tracks you maybe didn't think you got a good job out of it?
Canada. I can't remember much about Canada other than that I just had a horrible race. I think probably Monaco. It always happens at Monaco anyway. And really the last half of the season because my form was pretty poor.
Pretty poor, but you still managed to wrap up the 4th championship.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on to sort of season 13. Obviously, as we say, TTL's changing the way sort of drivers drive for teams, as in the teams pick now. You must have done a good enough job to attract the top teams, but if there was a team you could drive for, Blizzard, who would it be?
I mean, I prefer Ferrari, but I'm not racing permanently next season.
Any reason why, or you're just taking a back seat?
My plan was to not do Tuesdays entirely. I'm not doing Tuesdays entirely as well. And I was thinking of just doing Thursdays, but I've decided that I'm just gonna do a race every now and then on Thursdays, and I am going to be doing races on Tuesdays, but not in this league instead.
Well, so the title race could be blown wide open once again.
Yes.
If you had to, so answer me this then: if you had to back someone to be a true title contender, who would you put forward?
I mean, logically, it would be Lambo because he's my VSR teammate and everything like that. But Squeezy's faster than him in my opinion, so I think Squeezy will win it.
Great stuff. Well, hopefully we will see you around next season, and congratulations on your 4th title.
Thank you.
And so with that wraps up the season entirely. We do have the Challenge Cup coming up on Tuesday. Make sure you are following at TTL_F1. You can find out all the details for the Challenge Cup there. And a new season starts again at the Australian Grand Prix, I believe next week, next Thursday. So around about 8 o'clock, I hope Andy's going to join me for the season opener. Australia always proves to be, it did prove to be an interesting one in season 12. Wonder what season 13 is going to serve up for us. And again, for the rest of the week, obviously we've got the Challenge Cup in TTFL as well. They've got the 100% race around Austria. You can tune in with Steph for that tomorrow, around about 8 o'clock. We've also got the season finale of TTL F2. You can head over there on Sunday to watch that one. And then we've also got, if Andy were here, he'd be talking about his Project Cars 2 league that is starting up on Wednesdays in I think just over a week's time. That's Wednesday nights. Make sure you follow TT_P Cars. I think that's the Twitter handle. Andy can have a go at me if it's not. But make sure you head over there. They're very close to filling up the entire roster, so there aren't many spaces left, but I'm sure if you follow TT_P Cars, send them a message, they might be able to help you out with a space. For season 12 though, that's it. Thank you very much for everyone to joining us for the season. It's been a great season. These seasons only get better and better. and I wonder how season 13 is going to treat us. Is it really going to be unlucky for some and lucky for one? I'm backing it as the tagline. Anyway, that's it for season 12, and that's it from me tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley. You have been watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next season.